Hey everybody, it is Tom, and today there's something I've been wanting to talk about for a while, so I thought that I would talk about it. Wow, so here we are. So the thing that I would very much like to talk about is the idea of accountability on the internet and how some people have been warping it and using it to cause harm. At its heart, the idea of accountability is fantastic. If someone is homophobic or transphobic or misogynist or just an asshole on the internet or anywhere, it's great that we can all publicly say, no, that is not okay. Don't do that. You know? I mean, not only does that discourage that person from doing it again, but hopefully it discourages other people from acting that way and slowly improves, you know, the state of how people treat one another. Now, obviously, that's not a perfect system, but, it's something and it's important. But I'm sure I'm not the only one who has seen people using the idea of accountability in a really interesting way. So, first of all, let's talk about the point of accountability. I think what some people are missing is that the point of accountability is not to say, you, internet person, have made a mistake and thus be gone forever. We hate you. You're done. Depending on the severity of the crime, obviously. Obviously, if someone has done something terrible or continues to do something terrible, cough, J.K. Rowling, cough, it makes perfect sense to be like, no, you know what? Our lives are better off without this person in them. And when toxic behavior continues and the person, that's a different story. But when you have someone making a mistake, especially if it's a mistake made in good faith, like using the wrong terminology or making a statement that, maybe innocently or not innocently displays their privilege or something like that, the point should not be to cast that person aside forever. The point should be to teach them, to educate them, to show them what they did and why it was wrong, and then hopefully bring them around to doing the right thing in the future. So when I see, for example, okay, one of the streamers that I follow and who is just an amazing person, a non-binary queer creator, not too long ago made a tweet talking about their own experiences with bullying on the internet and how they had learned that you have to kind of, ignore that and move past it and live your best life and stuff like that, which doesn't sound like a terrible thing. So this creator, this non-binary queer Latina creator, posted this tweet about a personal thing turned into people attacking that person for their privilege of being able to just push aside people's comments and move on with their life. So, I just don't understand what the purpose of that is. What exactly, saying your experience is different from mine, so you should be ashamed, or I have it worse than you, so you have no right to complain about anything. That seems counterproductive, especially within a community that is already being marginalized. There's no reason for us to attack each other. But getting off track a little bit. But another situation that obviously is at the forefront in many of our minds is, Kit Connor and everything that he went through and continues to go through. And the people who were accusing him of queer baiting because he didn't feel ready to talk about his sexuality are the same people who then, after he came out as bisexual, were like, oh, he's just doing it for clout. Oh, he's just doing it to make us stop saying he's queer baiting. What do you people want? Because I feel like people like that are not using accountability to improve the world. They are using it to tear other people down and feel better about themselves. And like, it's really difficult to talk about this because, obviously, this kind of thing is something that the right and conservatives and Republicans talk about a lot, like, oh, cancel culture, blah, blah, blah. But where they get it wrong is they feel like canceling someone or holding someone accountable is never okay. Whereas that's not the truth. The truth is somewhere in the middle. We need to hold people accountable. We need to be able to cast out toxic people when they have proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that they have no interest in changing their behavior. But we need to stop attacking people who are just talking about their own experiences, or people who are innocently or ignorantly making mistakes that could be easily rectified with some education and some patience and kindness. Like telling someone, okay, what you just said was wrong and here's why, and letting them grow from that, letting them decide whether they will double down and prove that they are a toxic person, or whether they will say, oh, okay, I didn't know that, I'm sorry, I will be better in the future. Like, give people that chance. The goal is not to, create some scorecard of like, oh, I've gotten rid of all these people on the internet who were saying nasty things. Like, that should not be the goal. The goal should be to promote understanding and education and to bring us together rather than pulling each other apart. And the worst place that I see this is within the queer community, where you have people attacking each other for perceived wrongs, or, it feels like a gross misuse of the concept of accountability. And I would love to see more of people approaching accountability from a perspective of education and improving the world rather than just the idea of, taking someone down. Because if you approach someone who has made a mistake with attacks, like, you're awful, you're canceled, die in a fire, all that stuff, the usual response is for them to double down on their position, to seek out other people who have experienced the same thing, many of whom are not people who made innocent mistakes, many of whom are rather toxic and committed to their bad behavior. And then you've made an enemy for life. Like, you've taken someone who could have become an ally and you've pushed them to the radicalized, anti everything we are situation, So, I don't know. I don't know if this makes much sense. I'm very sleep deprived and tired and have not had my tea yet, but it's something that it's something that's been bothering me for a while and that I wanted to talk about. So I guess what I'm hoping to accomplish here is that I hope that anyone who watches this will think twice when they're on the internet about how to approach situations of holding someone accountable for something they've done. Do hold people accountable. Do educate. Do show people what they have said or done that is wrong and why it is wrong. But come at it from a perspective of teaching rather than punishing, But yeah, so again, I want to be clear. I am not advocating for the removal of accountability. I think accountability is very important. I just think it's important that we think about how we use it and use it to improve things and not to harm. Okay? Okay. All right. Well, that's all I have to say for now. I'm going to go drink some tea because caffeine is needed right now. So I hope you all are having a wonderful morning or day or afternoon or evening. And I will be back with actual videos. Not that this is an actual video, but it's not one of my usual videos. I will be back with my usual videos sometime in the future.